Tuned in to www.OGHUSKEYRADIO.com. Broadcasting live from the east side of Los Angeles, worldwide. I ain't gonna even lie, man. I think it's fucking awesome that we fucking represent hip-hop and we could get cats like this motherfucker in here. Just on the hip-hop tip, you know what I mean? And fucking just chop it up, you know what I mean? But I always introduce cats like you as the real defenders of hip-hop, because you guys are risking a lot. I ain't getting caught up for talking on this mic. Top Rank ain't catching nothing for cutting up those records.
For sure, man.
But what you do, man, is a huge service to the hip-hop community, man. And we want to thank you for that. For sure. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Oh, what's up? I write Brase. I'm from J4F crew.
Go ahead and spell it.
Brase, J4F.
And what's J4F stand for?
Just for fun, just for fame. Joints for these freeways.
And how did the connect come about with J4F, man?
I was painting back in the day, probably about 3 years ago, with the homie Snaps, and I just started like telling him I want to be on J4F. I just had mad respect for Triggs and what he did, and he wrecked shit, you know. And that fool just put me on. He like started introducing me to people. It took like 6 months to get down with the crew, and then Triggs got out of prison, and that was a wrap, you know.
Word up, man. So it took you like 6 months to get in, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just nothing like overnight.
Nah, it was like going through each crew member. The homie Reef, he was running it at the time.
Okay.
And he was the one who like, he was telling me like, you want to be down? Show me. And I was painting and just introducing myself to everybody, kicking it, you know?
How old are you when you started, when you got into it, or what got you into it? You know what I mean?
Just kicking it around here, you know, around the neighborhood and stuff. Like people do graffiti.
Oh, so you're from the east side?
Yeah, from the east side. And people just do graffiti naturally, you know, it's just part of the culture.
Yeah. People
gangbang, whatever. And the homie Gamic, actually, from DAS, he was the one who like,
oh shit,
he actually put me on game. He was the one who put me hand styles and everything like that. And that was where I started, you know.
And even before that, what is some of the stuff like you would see? Like who are some of the artists, or what'd you see on the wall? Like that's something I want to do.
The first shit, I remember sitting right here at Troy's, actually, right here eating. And I looked out the window and I seen that fool Bird from A-Team at the time. Yeah. And I just saw like his piece right across the train tracks. And I was like it just got me after that, you know? Like I just wanted to do it.
That was the gateway drug and shit?
Kinda, yeah. And you know, after that, just like 13 years old, just walking down the tracks, kicking cans, trying to find some fool ones and practice just writing on shit.
A lot of people shy away from it. Is that where that J4F block influence came from, dog? Like a lot of, you know what I mean? The big bold.
I mean, yeah, like it was definitely influenced that, like, definitely, you know, those blocky stuff.
You ain't saying like, nah, that's definitely.
Yeah, like it's super influenced by everything like that, you know. It's always influenced.
Brase J4F, are you a piecer, bomber?
Bomber.
Will you be a piecer? Do you see that in the future, or?
I mean, it would be cool, you know, maybe eventually, but I just love bombing, you know. Yeah. I love it.
So then, being a bomber, are you an artist or a vandal?
A little bit of both, you know.
In the sense of what?
In the sense that, like, I love to bomb, but I love my shit to look good. Like, I love it to have a little style, a little edgy to it, you know. I have certain styles that, like you were saying, like, influenced by the block letters and stuff, and I just like to, like, see all types of styles out there.
With that, man, with the vandal aspect of it, a vandal is, you know, destroying shit. I like to say anti, you know what I mean? It's definitely anti. What are you anti, dog? Like, you know what I mean? What is it? Are you, or is it, nah, I'm just fucking around doing it for fun? Like,
nah, I mean, a part of it is, of course, you know, just for fun, but like,
yeah.
But there is a lot of anti for me. Like, you know, I feel like I'm a pretty educated dude, and you know, talk about billboards, you talk about all these like types of advertisements that get pushed on you day to day, and you know, living in LA, there's a bunch of people, you know what I mean? And people just trying to like get the voice out, not even just the voice, just to be out there, you know, just to be noticed.
For people, like for me, it's easy to understand, but people that are outside of that, that wouldn't understand, just even on the billboard, explain it, you know what I mean? Because we live in Los Angeles, like just break it down, like why a billboard would, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you talk about a billboard, like on Vice, they have a great documentary on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you know, they talk about all the illegal amount of billboards where people do all this illegal advertisement. And, you know, to me, that's part of my everyday life. I see that on a day-to-day basis. I'm not asking if it be there. Nobody's, like, taking my name, asking me if I want this to be there. It's just there.
Yeah.
So, you know, a part of me is just taking that back, you know, like, and especially, like, parts of the city that aren't used, like the back of billboards and stuff like that.
A good example is you could walk out of here and then just see a big-ass, you know, billboard, you know, right when you walk out of here.
When you
and I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah.
You know, did anybody ask, like, does this light bother you at night when you go to work, or you
Yeah,
know what I
exactly.
mean, shit like that, just so people could put it in perspective.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you go out of your way to hit the billboards or to hit stuff like that?
I
or?
go out of my way to use parts of the city that aren't being used. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the back of a billboard, if you ain't fucking with it, like damn, it's a perfect spot for my name. You know, like there's a bunch of spots that aren't being used. I've been to some crazy ass places, like under the 710 freeway and these crazy ass tunnels, like, and people try to take the time to buff it, and I just kind of wonder why. And it's fucking stupid.
So would those be like the Cuddy spots? Do you like rocking Cuddy spots? Would you consider it that?
I mean, I like rocking everything. Like, I love yards. Yards are cool with the homies, like going drinking a beer and not having to worry about some yards and shit. But then I also like hot boy spots, you know? Like, I love all this type, everything, man, you know?
Word up. Is there anything you won't hit?
Churches. I always respect that. Schools with kids, you know? Anything high schools and under. You know what I mean? I always show respect to that. Homes,
Are there codes in graphs?
I think so. I think there's certain codes, like just like the basic rules that I've always heard is just throwaways go over tags, burners can go over that, you know.
Do people really abide by that shit, or is that just bullshit?
I do.
You do?
You know, but people get mad about it sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, okay, then let's put it in perspective, though. Known for the fucking rollers, you're gonna go over quite a few people when you're doing those J4F rollers, dog. You know what I mean? Like, is it just part of the game, or?
I feel like it's part of the game. To me, like, you know, I've had some people go over me. I actually ran into a cat in the yard who I went over, and he was straight out like, you know, told me like, well, you burned me, you know, so it's cool, but y'all mad respect, you know, like if you want your spot, like to me, I don't mind you spending like 20 minutes on a spot, but like if I'm gonna take my time and do 3 hours on a spot where I'm gonna bust it out like an actual sick what I feel like is actual colors and like production and making the most out of a wall, you know what I mean? I think that should be respected. But
and are they mapped out or purposely done, like the spots where you guys rock it, or just fuck it, I just like that, I'm gonna hit it?
Some of them are like that spot in the LA River right there, that J4F, that was me and my boy Nebs, and I had just like seen so much graffiti down there, and I was just like, there's nobody who's done like something really, really big, you know? And so when you go down there, there's actually like panels. So like the J is actually in one panel, the 4 is in another panel, and the S in another, you know? And so that's kind of how it's kind of, but like I see the spot, I kind of plan how to get in there, and then just figure it out once I'm in there, you know?
Word up. So going big, that's just part of it, or?
That's just part of it. To me, like, man, if you ain't in it for the fame, like if you ain't in it to do it, like to really, really do it, I don't understand why you in it, you know?
Word up. We got the homie Triggs in the other room. He couldn't do the interview because he's very busy, occupied right now, drinking his beer and shit. So, but we know how he feels about wheat pasters and sticker mobbers. You know what I mean? What's Brase, J4F's opinion on wheat pasters and sticker mobbers?
I mean, to me, whatever, do what you want to do. I'll go over it, you know, like if I go over anything, it's gonna go over it. Wheat pasters do what they're gonna do. Stickers, like we were talking about, like it's just, I don't feel like, unless you're searched, bro, you should not. You should have like a credibility under your name before you really just want to kill it with stickers. I feel like.
Word up. Do you see yourself going legit, doing the studio part of it, doing all that?
If I ever did, it would be separate, you know. Yeah. Like it would just be, graph would be still its own thing, and then studio would be completely different, and I don't think you would even know who it was, you know.
So the Vandal is always gonna be there no matter what.
Kinda, yeah. It's not only just like it's just kind of like this thing I have with like system and different things like that, you know.
So then graph to you is political.
Yeah, in many ways. In many ways, it's kind of like, I feel like people, you know, you're taking back property that people try to take from you, public spaces that are. And you're just using things that people aren't that people aren't using. You know what I mean? So I don't see what the problem with that is at all.
Word up, man. And is there a graph scene?
It's kind of, there's a graph scene, but like a lot of people talk a lot. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people talk about doing graph. Like I feel like it's kind of a fad right now sometimes. like people be like, oh yeah, I do this, I do that, but they don't actually go out and do that amount of work.
Are younger people or older people more guilty of that, or is it everyone? It's just saturated with people talking and not.
I mean, if you're an old school cat, you talk all you want. I don't really mind any of that. I just feel like it's people who don't have any established names, like keep saying like, oh, I caught this tag, I caught that, and woofing themselves up, you know?
Straight up.
And I don't like that. That's just.
But so then, is there a scene or like, nah, it's just me and the homies kicking it? Like, cause I never really took it as a scene. It was always just like, nah, it was just. It could be like two dudes and two girls, or like just random people chilling, or you meet a rocker that's a Vandal and like, or I'm gonna take you to this spot. It's not like.
I think it's just like, man, if you want to do it, do it. I don't know how to describe it as a scene. You know, like if you. It's kind of like, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. You can't really debate that. Like,
Will you ever stop?
I doubt it.
Nah, you doubt it? Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you this before, but if you have kids, would you teach your kids this shit?
I don't know.
You don't know?
There's some crazy shit that happens that comes with graph.
Well, with that then, what's the craziest shit you've seen, man?
Man, I mean, crazy shit has happened. I've had shots pulled on me, you know what I mean, and shit like that. Fools chase me out of yards with knives and shit, but other than that, like, I seen a tweaker once, and he was like young, dog, like 13, 14, right here on the tracks, and he was just riding down on
right there, the valley tracks. And shit?
Yeah,
damn. Riding
down on his bike while we were painting that wall, and he just said what's up, but he was just like all tweaked out, youngster.
Damn, at 14 and shit.
Yeah, and so you know.
That'll fuck with you for a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. That was kind of fucked up, but it's kind of just shit that happens in the hood, you know.
Damn. What's the biggest, or how can I say? Can we expect bigger J4Fs, or
definitely
like we pushed it as much as we could with those?
Never. I don't think I'll ever get done with pushing. I think I could go with that shit.
How long does it take, dog? Like what?
The one in the river took about 4.5 hours. It was only
one session.
It was only 2 heads, yeah, one session. We just. Literally, like, all right, so this is a J, right? Yeah. The little roller looked like smaller than my pinky on it. It like, you put it on there, and I was just like.
I always wonder too. Do you dump the paint? Like, fuck this, I ain't got time, homie. Like,
nah, we just kind of like, it was a bucket of 5 gallons, so it was big enough to dunk it in there, and then you just put it on up. And
damn, man. Yeah. Keep up the good work, dog. Shit.
Thank you, dog.
And then I'm not saying you did them or you're even affiliated, but those real high spots. Are them motherfuckers hard? I'm not saying you're responsible for those.
I would assume that people get shaky footed. Fuck with you a little bit. They fuck with your stomach.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, but like even the high rollers, are those with extensions or are those with
extensions? There.
Yeah,
have to be. No way you could get a ladder.
I'm just saying a ladder. Nah, it's just.
I don't think so.
How about the control though? With that extension being so far and shit, doesn't really.
With that one.
Does it fuck with it or nah?
Yeah. It shakes. The whole thing's like this. You kind of put it. You put it on your stomach. You like put it on your stomach, and then you see the shadow, and as the shadow gets closer, it gets closer to the roller, and then you like once you find that spot, you just let it drop onto it.
All right, and then this is me just being me though. The cuts going to the side, are those rollers or are those just, you know, like if you're gonna go a left to right line on a roller, is that up and down? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Up and down.
How do you not fuck it up?
I don't know. Damn, you just take the time to do it.
That shit's wobbling. You're on an extension.
Yeah,
you know the extension is fucking wobbling as fuck, and the cuts are clean, dog.
Yeah, it's just literally trying to take your time with those, like with the fill in. You just kind of fill it in as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And then with that black covers everything, so you just kind of, that's the closest one, you know. That's the one you take your time with. And
this shit requires skill, motherfuckers.
Damn, man, you'll be sore the next day.
Damn. OGHUSKEYRADIO.com, Brase J4F, man. Thank you for coming by, man, and enlightening us and shit.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people are going to take their time to try to, you know, keep up with you guys because y'all motherfuckers doing quite a bit. But, you know, we'll give them advice and, you know, tell them, you know, we'll live and learn and shit.
Do what you want to do.
Any shout-outs before we cut out there?
Shout out to my boy Nebs, J4F, Trigger, you know, the homies in Chicago, Portland, fucking Las Vegas. My boy Rive for helping me out, and yeah.
Word up. OGHUSKEYRADIO.com. Stay posted, more interviews.